Let's take a trip down memory lane and spill all of the small town tea. I'm your host, KP Parker, and this is Town Gossip. Hello, suburbanites! Welcome to another episode of Town Gossip. I am KP Parker, and we have an absolute bangerang episode for you. This episode is about the great state of Connecticut. I know this state very well. I'm from there. I've spent, about 20 years. I'm only 18, so I know that's hard to wrap your head around. But I've spent a good few decades in Connecticut. So this is going to be a very special episode for me. I get to really dive in, and I get to bring you my own town gossip. The thing that Simsbury, Connecticut is known for is that back in the day, our school was one of the first to ever ban freaking. Freaking, it was called, by only adults. The kids, you might know it better, called it grinding. You would go to school dances and you would grind. Would I? No. I think I did one time. I don't often, the ban of freaking really shockwaved our entire community. Not me, those of us that were pretty involuntarily celibate. But it rocked the community, and it got national attention because it was drawing parallels to Footloose. It was gross. It's okay as adults, I guess, do what you have to do. But yeah, it was banned because it should be banned. Yick. And I guess that's how I know I'm getting old. But I was 100%, this makes sense to me. There were op-eds in the paper, there were news articles, and then students started sort of submitting their own version. This is the students' POV of what's happening. I think our valedictorian, we were like, hey, can you write something up? Can you be the guy to write this? And he was like, as if I've gone to one of these dances, but sure. He wrote it up, and it was a beautiful piece. And it sort of sparked a movement. And that next dance, I think homecoming was 3 weeks away when this whole ban on freaking was announced. And at homecoming, instead of going, everyone boycotted the dance and instead freaked in the parking lot. They freaked in the parking lot as a form of protest. It was beautiful. I didn't go because I'm not much of a dance queen here, and I never have been. I wasn't gifted with rhythm. That's just not what I have. I have a lot to offer, and I'm good at a lot of things. Dancing was never one of them. And so dancing to me, I've understood at this point that it's sort of a social, you got to get through it. So when I'm going nowadays to parties, I understand that there will be a time of the night where I'm going to probably have to dance, and I'll get through that, and it's fine now. But as a kid, it was sort of as a teen, it was skip it if I could. I remember going to a dance, and I got a date to homecoming. He came over for photos before homecoming, and my mom was like, you're fine to go to the dance with him, but I just need you to know you will not be dating this boy. And this was kind of a huge shock for me because I was like, well, if a boy's interested, I'd love to get a date. And she was like, I don't know how to say this to you. He's gay. And I just don't want you to do this and get too far down into this. And I was up in arms. I was part of the Gay Straight Alliance. And I was like, you cannot tell someone if they are gay. They will tell us when they are gay. And he was gay. And I want to apologize for this if you're listening, boy that I went to homecoming with. I do think I told you that night that my mom won't let me date you because you're gay. Last thing was a junior homecoming scenario. I did go to the junior homecoming, or maybe it was junior prom, and I was in a relationship at that point. I had a lovely boyfriend, and we were at the prom, and I'm dancing the best that I can. I'm doing what I've decided is a social contract, where if I'm going to a dance, I have to look like I'm dancing at some points. And I was, doing the best I could, doing some fishing poles, doing some microwaves. Listen, they're hack now, but in the 2000s, you don't get much funnier than that. Some physical comedy. I was doing some shopping carts, doing what I had to do to sort of make the night fun for me. He storms out after a display of my dancing. He storms out and goes to the car, and I have to kind of run him down, and I go to the car, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's crying. He's fully crying. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, the way you're dancing. And I was like, oh my God, what? And he's like, it's just that everything's a big joke to you, isn't it? It is a big joke. So I had to comfort that crying man who was crying because of my dancing. And I had to, be like, I'm really sorry. I don't consider this a joke. I'm just kind of doing all that I can. And he's like, okay, he calms down. We go back in. We go back to the dance floor. Now all eyes on me. Well, I have to dance now. And so I'm trying to actually dance. And he's like, again, you're doing it again. And I'm like, no, this one's real. I truly don't have much more than this. And I'll still dance if I have to. But it is going to be a big fucking joke to me. That's what I know about Connecticut. And I can't wait to dance into some more info with our incredibly funny guest. She's been called my twin. We're all over on the apps together. It is Cassie Willson. Hi, Cassie.
Me. Hey, great to be here.
Hey, Cassie.
Fellow Connecticutans.
Nutmeggers.
What an honor.
That's what they say.
That's what they'll call us.
That's what they say.
That's what they'll all be calling us.
That is the term for it, is it not?
Yeah,
You're not like a Connecticutian, which I've also heard.
Connecticutans. That's a classic. Okay. Nope. Said no to that. Okay. Not anymore. Sorry.
Vetoing that. Wow. Hello, Cassie.
Hello. I identify with so many things that you just said.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The grinding really brought it back for me. I mean, we weren't grinding in middle school. I'll tell you that right now, because our middle school dances, the lights were on.
Sure,
and that was tough.
The fluorescents stay on.
Yeah, and the ratio of students to teachers was not ideal.
It's crazy.
I had a very small class, and so if there were 25 students there were probably 10 teachers.
So you're just sort of
wasn't ideal.
Staring them down as you're...
I did actually. Okay, I was dancing with someone, and I'm like, literally this whole time I'm going to be like, should I name drop this person? And it's like literally someone I went to middle school with like, so long ago, like does not matter.
Totally.
We were dancing to Chris Brown's With You. And I think exactly. Let's get up and do the dance really quick. And I was, I think, so afraid of the like intimacy or vulnerability of like genuinely actually trying to dance.
Definitely.
That I think I was the one who like walked away, because I was like, I literally just like cannot handle this emotionally right now.
For that song, just for that
song. It was
You've taken me to a place that I don't feel comfortable being at.
Too much. It was like, your hands are on my waist. That's never happened before.
Yep.
My hands are on your shoulder.
Yep.
I'm supposed to look you in the eye and sway gently. Can't happen.
I'm scared of what'll happen.
I'm a clown
at the end of this.
I'm like honk honk da 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 da. I can't do that.
It's insane.
Not the vibe.
The feeling. I mean, it was like everything's on 300% when you're at that age anyway. And
Always.
so it all feels like, you know, a fantasy romance book where you're like, I have to walk away. The feelings are overcoming me.
Genuinely. When I think like, about the note that my crush wrote me,
oh my God,
in middle school, I still like, I can't think about that without like breaking into a sweat. He was like, you said you like me, but now you don't want anything to do with me. Do you want to be like, it was just, the drama was like up to a million.
The yearning. We need to bring back yearning.
Retweet. I'm reading Pride and Prejudice right now, and oh my God, they are yearning in that book, and that's a lot for me to handle too, if I'm being so honest.
There's real yearning there. We need to bring back yearning, and I do think it was like, you have to grow and protect your heart and build a wall, because you can't be doing what we were doing in high school, which was so inappropriate to yearn that hard. I remember reading something on Tumblr or wherever was infecting my brain at the time.
Sure.
And it was like, you know you're in love when you can't go an hour without thinking about them. So I would sit in math class. I would look at the clock and I'd go, I'm thinking about him. And I'd do it and try and do my math, and I'd look up and I go, exactly. I knew it. I'm in love. I would think about that emo boy with the gel in his hair. And I was like,
shout out.
That was my first love. And for a long time I was like, well, it's scientifically proven that was my first love.
Obviously.
Never dated him.
Because of the 1 hour a day thing.
And I think
like
until college, I was like, yeah, I've had a lot of boyfriends, but my first love, and now I'm like, chill out.
It's like, look back, we never spoke a single time.
He got me flowers one time after a Beauty and the Beast show. And that was pretty nice.
Okay, brag.
Hey.
Never experienced
that. And then a girl came in with hickeys from him the next day, and I was like, understood.
Oh my God.
Understood.
Hate to see that. That's a tough pill to swallow right there.
Man, a lot of hickeys from the guy you like.
Bruv.
Another girl walking
after
with
Beauty and the Beast? Like, are you kidding me?
One of the most pivotal moments in my career, Beauty and the Beast.
We're all saying that. I remember that.
Thank you.
And I was splash.
Not even in the cast. I was doing tech for most of it. I think they like put me on the cast because it was like, she really wants this. Poor thing.
You're wearing black. You're like, I'm taking this more seriously than anyone will ever take anything again.
Bonjour. Bonjour. I'm in this wings, just like fully trying to get on stage. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, there's just longing, there's yearning, there's first loves, there's nicknames.
Okay, sure.
To talk about.
Say more about that.
Well, you know, it would be like, okay, we can't say his name at the cafeteria, but we want to talk about him.
Oh.
So you're like, and Squirrel and Bob. Bob talked to Squirrel and Squirrel
talked God, you're so right. We all had nicknames for our crushes.
Yeah, because you couldn't say it. But it was always either Bob, because that was like funny at the time. It was kind of the like...
Bob was like peak humor back then.
Totally.
Calling anyone and anything Bob.
Bob, yeah.
That would kill. You guys don't get it.
If you were there, you
remember.
Would get it.
You had to be there.
And then, I think Pineapple, also a huge one. It was
Classic.
just what it was. And that was how you had to long and yearn, keeping it hidden.
I don't know how much yearning I was doing in high school, honestly. My vibe of high school was like, I had this incredible group of 4 girlfriends. Yep. Boys did not like us. And we were like, totally cool. We'll go work on our personalities for 4 years. Like, wait here. We will just make each other, literally like, okay, let's put a pin in that. We're going to go like become cool and awesome and funny and like learn how to be amazing friends.
Yes.
Give me like 10 years and then I'll be hot. And boom.
I needed 10 more years of high school. No, I didn't. Imagine. The second that came out of my mouth, I said, that's hell. No. That's what hell is.
Well, in a way, and we'll get, I had a lot of, I grew up at my own high school and then I went there.
Well, let's get in.
Sure. Let's
get on in. So tell me a little bit about this high school experience. What do you mean by that?
My actual hometown is Watertown, Connecticut.
Yes.
Shout out Watertown. However, I was a faculty kid at the Taft School. Again, shout out Taft. A boarding school, a boarding high school.
Wow.
Because my dad taught there. We moved there when I was like a baby.
Yeah.
I grew up on the campus, living in Taft housing.
Oh, wow. On the campus.
It's like a mini college campus experience.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
So I grew up there and then I went there.
Yeah.
And then after I was done going there, my parents still lived there. So every time I went home from like college or whatever, I was just going back to my own high school campus.
So with boarding, you technically did board there because you've always boarded there.
No, dude, I was a fact brat, as they said.
Okay.
I know. Sorry. Hate to drop that so early.
There's nothing I like better than a little derogatory name. No, that's not true.
It was. We love a slur. We don't love a slur. Sometimes you say it for the bit and the bit just takes over. Fact brat. That was, it was the slightly derogatory term for faculty kid.
Yeah.
So I was not a boarder, nor was I a day student. I was a faculty. I was a secret third thing, a fact brat.
But you were living on the campus, or you guys had a house at that point?
We had a house
okay.
that was owned by the school.
Okay.
So
was it like you were close to the school?
Yeah, it was like 50 yards off campus. It was like walk across like 3 soccer fields and you're there.
Wow. Easy to invite friends over after school.
Yeah, but they weren't always allowed to go there because they had to be in the dorms.
Whoa.
It was a really, honestly, okay, faculty kids weren't considered like cool, but I do think that my generation of faculty kids kind of made us cooler.
Because did you kind of grow up with them too? Because they had been yeah, so it was like there
were like a few kids who were like my age. Yeah. And we grew up together. Shout out Maddie I'm like, for some reason, I'm like, wait, it's so important to name drop everyone I've ever met.
Podcast just to talk to your old friends.
I know.
I'll say yes to this podcast. I have their phone numbers. Shout out everybody I know.
I can call them whenever I want.
No,
but like, so I grew up with this like small group of kids who were other like children of teachers.
Wow.
And then the community that I grew up in, all of my parents' friends were teachers. My dad was a teacher, still is, not at the school anymore. But so like all of my parents' friends were like teachers, and then I grew up with them, and then I went to the school. And so then they were my teachers and my administrators and my deans. And so it's like the teacher walking down the hall, she may have changed my diaper at some point. So that's tough.
Did you ever have to have your dad as a teacher? No.
No, but he was the academic dean when I was there. So he decided what classes I would be in.
Okay. And tried to throw you some bones. Maybe he put you with the good teachers or not?
Kind of, except for sophomore year chemistry. I was put in honors chemistry and I was not a math science girl. That was pretty rough. And then I went to my father and I like begged him to like change me out to like the lower chemistry. Yeah. But the teacher like wouldn't let me change out. And I do still hold a grudge about that.
I hate when they make us work to our potential.
For me, okay, here's the thing. It was like I felt my brain being unable to like absorb information in that class.
Totally.
And I was like, no, I really, really can't do this.
I
and
had the same thing with math.
You can do it. It's like, I can't.
I fought this exact battle with math. And I was like, I am okay. Like, I know you don't want me. I was in remedial. I was trying to get into remedial. I was in normal and I was like, nothing normal about this
Not
feeling.
Going on.
I cannot. And also, I think with math, you miss one thing.
Exactly.
You're out for 2 years.
Exactly.
I was like, what's FOIL? Can't figure that one out.
Tough.
And then you're like,
you're gone.
And now I don't understand. I've never seen a number.
You're not on it.
And I was like, Mom, I know you don't want to say that you have a remedial kid in math, but you might just have to get over this because I'm so struggled.
It was tough, dude.
And this past year I was like, maybe I should like kind of face that moment in my life. And I was like, oh, let me go to community college because they had some interesting little courses at a community college near me. And I was like, I'm going to go take math and I'm going to like best this. And my boyfriend at the time was like, hey, why?
Yeah.
hey, no, I think you were right. You didn't use it.
You're a grown up. You really don't need that anymore.
I think it's like you versus you and you won. So like you can leave that one behind. But math, I was the same thing where I was like, please lower me. This is
for the love of God, this is not happening.
This is so not fun for me.
Terrible.
You've got this boarding school. You've got this fac brat.
You've
got this fac brat scenario. Is this the setting in which our drama takes place?
It is. So, yeah, I was really trying to think of like, what story am I going to tell? Because again, I was not doing stuff in high school that was considered cool.
Yeah.
And I guess what would be considered cool would be, I don't know, hooking up, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, doing drugs, taking alcohol sometimes. I was so afraid of messing up.
Yeah.
Because my dad was a teacher there. So it was
honestly,
like, and like a well-liked teacher, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God he wasn't like a jerk or whatever.
Totally.
But I was so afraid of like doing anything I wasn't supposed to do. Because then it's like, if you get, there was like a 2-strike system. So you could get a strike if you were caught doing something bad. And then second strike, like you're done. You're out of there.
Boarding school? What kind of like kid goes, like international?
Yeah, there were a lot of international kids. There were a lot of wealthy people, obviously. And so I was kind of like rubbing elbows with like very wealthy people from a very young age. But like, of course, we were just like, my dad was a teacher. Like we were kind of, you know, normal, a middle class that frankly no longer exists. Let's get political. Let's go there. So it was a lot of very wealthy people, but also a lot of international kids. And then something like 30% was on financial aid. So it was like actually pretty diverse in terms of like your socioeconomic background.
Sure.
So it was actually like kind of an amazing place to grow up and then go. And my parents moved there from New York and they wanted to raise us somewhere that was like interesting and cool and had lots of different people instead of just like kind of, you know, suburban white Connecticut vibe.
Is there, I don't know if this is just in the movies, but is there any amount of kids that's like, I'm sending you to boarding school because you fucked up in your other schools? Person? Or not really?
Not really. Okay. I think that's kind of the vibe that people thought is like, what did you do to be punished?
To boarding school.
Yeah. It wasn't like military school. It wasn't like, it looked a little bit like Harry Potter, I won't lie. But it wasn't like that. Yeah. All the time. My friends, like I found my friends quickly, God bless those girls, and we like weren't doing cool stuff. So when I was trying to think, we were like writing One Direction fan fiction. Like that was our vibe. Scrolling Tumblr for hours and hours a day. And just like making each other laugh. And that was great. Therefore, I was like, I don't have a single like cool, fun story that's like a scandal.
Sure.
So I had to like crowdsource this.
Yeah.
So I asked everyone in my family, I asked a couple of friends from high school. So this is true like gossip in that it didn't happen to me. I heard it from another person.
Incredible.
I know. Basically, so Taft is in Watertown, right? And then Watertown didn't have that many great restaurants.
Okay.
Again, not every time.
Shout out to the restaurant. Go ahead. Shout them out.
So sometimes people would order dinner if they like lived in the dorms. They would like order food from somewhere. Okay. Normal if they had their parents' credit card. I did not, so I was never doing that.
Sure.
I was also like, guys, we get 3 meals a day at the dining hall, and that stuff rocks. Like,
guys, you gotta come see these.
You have to check out the chicken nuggets they have in there. Like, it is off the charts. And some people, I guess, weren't super into that. So like, they would order food. I texted my brothers yesterday, and I was like, wasn't there some place that was like selling drugs to kids? And my older brother was like, yeah. Whoa. And so he called me. He gave me the scoop. There was a pizza place in town.
Always a pizza place.
And this went on.
Listeners know it's always a pizza place.
And I'm always saying that. For like, this operation went on for years, apparently. Like 4 or 5 years. Again, this is all according to my brother. This didn't happen to me firsthand. You could call this pizza place. You would order a large cheese with extra jalapenos.
Okay.
And you would say, I'd also like some extra Sprite. The delivery guy would bring you weed and vodka and sell it to teenagers who were ordering this stuff.
That's so exciting.
You would give the dude $50 each for like the weed and for the vodka.
$50 each?
Yeah, for like probably like an eighth or something. Margins. I don't know. crazy.
The goofiest margins I've ever heard. Especially for
those kids.
2000s economy.
No, literally. It's like with inflation, you do the math, that's $2,000 each. That's crazy.
A lot on that jalapeno
a lot of
pizza.
money. But these kids, if they wanted to like, I don't know, party or whatever. I don't know. Again, not anything I was doing. Like they didn't have another way to like get alcohol, get drugs, because it's not like there's
you're like in a closed campus.
Yeah, you're living there. And so this delivery dude would like sell them vodka and weed, and it went on for 4 to 5 years. And I didn't, again, this was like rumblings you would hear about this, like, what's the specific pizza place?
Yeah.
And I asked my brother the other day, I was like, how did this work?
Right.
Like, because you call the place and then the delivery guy brings it to you.
Yeah.
But the person you're calling probably isn't the same dude who's delivering.
They must all be in on it, yeah. It's like in a storage locker. You just take a little eighth out of it or something.
Exactly. And they're like, let me bring this to this like 16-year-old. The pizza place still exists. But, okay.
Get my phone.
No, let's order right now.
Long distance
It'll be here in
delivery.
3.5 hours. It'll be so worth it. The pizza's like definitely soggy, not that good. Extra jalapenos, let's go.
Wow.
But I asked my brother, I was like, how did they stop it? And he was like, well, I'll tell you. The dean of students, again, who I fully grew up with.
Yeah.
Again, won't name drop, but man, cool guy. The like administration like caught wind of this.
Yeah.
And they did a sting operation.
I was going to say pretty easy to like bust that. Kind of an easy scenario of being like, cool, you just have to say these 2 words.
Exactly.
Cops are
But I think they had to hear about what it was.
Whoever narked.
Literally, whoever narked, you're a loser.
I like think I'm getting hero vibes from the pizza shop. It's not like they're selling
ketamine,
hard
or heroin,
drugs.
right?
It's like kind of the 2 most likable scenarios is weed and vodka. I love vodka.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
It's not like it's like, oh, they're fucking bourbon tequila drunk and shooting heroin.
And here's a prostitute also. Like, not the vibe.
It's the cutest things you can have. Are a little weed and a little vodka.
But it was like very not, like you're not allowed. I mean, obviously it's high school. And like when you're living in the school and your parents aren't there, the teachers are also your dorm parents, are also your coaches, and they're like responsible for you.
Of course.
So this was like not good. Not a good look. They did a sting operation. Yeah. The dean of students called from like a fake number.
Yeah.
He asked for the extra jalapenos in the Sprite, I guess. Yeah. Thank you for the vodka. And the dude show up and they swarmed him and they arrested him. Not the teachers, the police arrested.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Arrest. 24 hours holding him.
And the guy's like, okay.
Tell us what you know.
Exactly.
Wow. Man. Yeah. So pizza front wise, it's interesting to talk about Connecticut because Connecticut is known as the pizza capital of the U.S.
This is kind of news to me. I know there's like New Haven has good pizza.
It's all about New Haven. I guess it's... I don't want to speak without knowing something. Yes, I do. I think it's Pepe's.
Please do it.
I do it all the time. I don't know why now I would get a conscience about that. I think it's Pepe's or something. There's Pepe's Pizza in New Haven, and they like started the thin crust or something. Okay, that was like the thing about it is it like burns up the crust a little bit or something. And New Haven is just like the pizza place. So they've made it now all of Connecticut is the pizza place.
I don't know if we can ascribe that to all of Connecticut. Respectfully, of course.
No,
I've had some
not Simsbury.
tough pizza in Connecticut.
I've had some good.
But good pizza also.
I've had some good.
Sure.
Coming from LA, I have to say, bad pizza over there.
LA is not the place you want to get pizza.
No. So I am like, a Connecticut pizza will hit for me. And I think I've been to Pepe's on my way down on the train.
I must have gone to actually at some point.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
But also, it's like we live in New York now, and it's like,
I know.
It's going to be pretty
New York
good.
is really good.
And there's like amazing
They're not
pizza.
kidding with that.
And like, obviously it's like, there's really, really amazing world-class pizza. But I think also the thing about New York is like, any pizza place you walk into is probably going to be better than the rest of the country, respectfully.
Yeah,
of course.
And it's not just because it's at like 3 a.m. and you're drunk, which it often is. Right. But it's not just because I'll have it sometimes when I'm out and about.
I ran into a random like bakery the other day and like got a slice of pizza and it was unbelievable.
And then something I've forgotten that they do a lot here, garlic knots. Whoa.
True.
Whoa.
We need that place instead of the popover restaurant. Where's the garlic knot place? You know what I mean?
I do wonder if maybe Connecticut's getting the best pizza rap because most of them are giving out weed and vodka.
It could be that. It could be all the vodka
honestly,
and the
now that I'm
weed.
thinking of it, it's not so much Pepe's, it's Watertown, Connecticut.
It's Watertown. We put it on the map.
Extra Sprite.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is what, Connecticut, best pizza, best weed, best vodka spots.
Wow.
That's what they say.
True. Yeah.
If you're in the New Haven area, tell us if we're wrong.
I
I think it's probably not called Pepe's, but if it is.
It could be.
It is?
We don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way to find out.
I think it is. It's something about the crust. I think they bubble it out or thin it up or something.
What about like a coal oven? Isn't that? It's like brick oven, coal oven. That's what it's supposed to be.
I don't know. It is pretty good. Well, I also think if you're in boarding school, have some normal experiences too, which is when the parents are away, you get to get a little goofy with your gals.
Yeah, totally. Again.
Not you.
Not me.
Can't emphasize enough
how much we were not doing this. But I was truly like, I don't have a single like interesting story. It was like my high school experience was like working really hard in class, going to the dining hall, playing soccer and softball, and like giggling with my friends, unfortunately.
No, but fortunate.
It was a wonderful, like very wholesome experience that I had there.
Didn't you also mention to me, not to call upon outside of podcast things,
please do.
You would be in sports against the other boarding schools and other like Connecticut people. Because we talked about, I had one of those boarding schools in my town. Shout out Ethel Walker.
Huge shout out Ethel Walker.
Humongous shout out. And
frankly, they like weren't that good.
Well, I was
sorry
like, to us, non-boarding school people, the Ethel Walker girls, because I think it was all girls.
Yes.
The Ethel Walker girls were horse girls, every single one of them. Because they had a big equestrian department. And there's nothing more boarding school to say than they had a big equestrian department.
Oh my
Wasn't
God.
really one of our things. So when you were like, oh yeah, we went against the Ethel Walker girls in sports, I was like, oh, the horse girls.
It wasn't, And
it did seem Harry Potter adjacent, where you're like, that's that all-girl school with the Fleur de la Cour in
exactly. Same vibes.
Where they were just sort of always on their tiptoes walking around.
Oh my God,
you can't see their knees bend. They would just sort of...
How a woman should look all the time, frankly.
I don't want to see your knees. Hey,
literally
if you're abroad,
put them away.
Don't show me your knees.
Nasty.
Please
nasty.
don't show me those knees.
Yes, we would play like all these other schools. Ethel Walker was, I don't think they were that good, but maybe I'm wrong. But one thing that we did do, so I was on JV softball, brag, captain for 2 years. Not a big deal. Pitcher, got quitted, I remember me. Pretty big deal.
Man.
It's whatever. Basically,
I
know. So my sophomore year, like, I think we just decided that like JV softball had never existed. And our actual softball team was like very good every single year. But we were like, let's just like make this exist. And so it was like half girls in my grade and half seniors. Yeah. And we just like made it happen. We were so bad. If like none of us had ever like thrown a ball or thrown a bat.
Sure.
But eventually we got to be like decent enough.
Yeah.
Because frankly, there were not a lot of other JV softball teams that were available for us to play.
Yeah.
So we'd play like, I don't know, 6 games a season and like
same few teams.
Okay. And then, so I did again my senior year. And it was like half seniors, half freshmen. And we played a school that was a K through 9 school, as in kindergarten through 9th grade. So at this point, there are some like legal adults on our team, like full 18-year-olds. We're playing against the like varsity team at this K through 9 school.
Kids on an apple box.
Literally. Like we're playing like legit 12-year-olds. And it was like, this feels so wrong and so bad.
Time out.
And we're trying to like pretend to be younger than we are. So it wasn't that bad. But like, we didn't know how to do that. So we were like, how's chemistry homework? And that's funny because that's what we did sophomore year and not senior year.
And it's to make you feel better, not them. You're like,
exactly. Well, we didn't want them to know that we were fully 17 and 18 years old. Yeah. And I think we had to mercy them.
Totally. Also, how many people were at your school? What was the...
Like around 500, I want to say.
For
500 or 600
freshman to
in
senior?
The whole school. Yeah. Freshman to senior year,
That's honestly not that small. That's like...
Yeah, 500 or 600. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Something. I went to... My school was maybe like 1,000. And I do think it's interesting in such a small environment, the sports teams that you never knew existed. Like my friend was like, oh yeah, and I'm on the tennis team. She said, one of my best friends.
Never heard of
She said it in junior year. I said, what? Tennis team? And they were doing really well. We got like a medal or something. And I was like, could have fooled me. Fencing we had. Wrestling. We had fencing.
Okay, I'm the one who went to a boarding school. We're supposed to have the weird yuppie sports.
And I know this because I was in it, ballroom dance club.
Oh boy.
That's gonna hurt to say out loud.
But you weren't a dancer, you say? But you were in ballroom dancing?
It was just all my friends signed up for it. And like one cool guy from the football team signed up for it as a joke.
Yes.
And he was also kind of our friend. And he was like, all right, I'll do this as a joke. And we were like, us too. It's a joke for us too.
Definitely.
We're kidding.
Not on purpose.
So we were all in ballroom dance and swing for a while.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
It was just kind of like the thing. It was like the one on Friday.
Sure.
That you would just
we had like
for an hour.
Weird activities like that if you didn't want to do a sport. I think I did like ice skating one year and that was fake.
Yep.
There was an aerobics class you could take. That was really fun. Kind of iconic, honestly.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't do a sport, like you could do like theater and that would be your sport.
Yeah.
Like, you could do the play.
I really like the like, because some kid that, like the kids that were in the ballroom dance team, 2 of them are like still doing ballroom dance and like winning medals at it, and all the slicked hair, and they're like still doing, and they're still partners because you have to like be partnered in some of them. They're still partnered and still doing ballroom dance. So I am like the more random clubs, some kid is gonna love it. Some kid that's like gonna be their thing. And I wish we did have more little rec league stuff as adults.
Yeah, random stuff.
My mom's now getting into some of the senior classes at the town hall.
Pretty cool.
They're back.
Pretty slay.
Ceramics class for free at the town hall. Get on in.
We all need hobbies.
Also, ceramics class for adults costs $700. So yeah, get in for free if you can.
Yeah. That's really real.
I worked at the pizza place that was known for selling drugs too.
Is this like a thing that happened regularly?
Truly.
Okay,
I really think
shows what I know.
There is always a pizza place, because I do think pizza places they employ the teens.
Yeah,
and I think that's where it starts. I don't think a pizza place sets out to be a drug front. I think it's you hire a bunch of teens, and then you've got something exciting starting.
I don't know if our drug guy was a teen. Again, I don't know much about that. He may have been like a full adult.
Well,
I don't know.
Pay pizza place workers more, and they won't have to sell vodka for $50.
And you won't have to ask for extra jalapeno and extra Sprite.
Sucks to be somebody that actually likes jalapenos and Sprite.
No, literally.
Get stuck what if you did drug sting?
Like, oh my God, I hate when this happens.
Oh,
what a bummer. Not again.
I love
Third
spicy
time this
food
week.
and then spicy drink. Just a little bubble in my drink, and now I have all this weed and vodka on my shelf.
Oh my God, what a bummer.
What am I going to do?
What am I going to do? And they're bleeding me dry from the cash. So
fine,
much money
but I need it. What if we zoom on out?
Sure.
And get some drama from around the nation?
I would love some drama.
We could stay in Connecticut all day, but let's see where else we can go here. Cassie, I just said we could leave Connecticut, but we're not. This submission is from Monroe, Connecticut. You know it?
Nope, but there are about 15 billion little towns in Connecticut.
I know. Every time, because it is such a small state. I don't know if you have this experience. I'll get super excited when somebody's like, and I'm from Connecticut. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. And they're like, yeah, and I'm from Darien. And I'm like, I guess.
Every single time it's a town I've never heard of.
And
like,
you're looking, and you're like, yeah, there's 150 beach towns that I never have been to.
Also, like, yeah, I feel like the place where you're from in Connecticut, I was, from this like central little place in Connecticut. Go like Eastern. I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. What are they up to? No idea.
Yeah, I'm central.
Yeah.
Eastern, I have no clue.
No clue. What's going on?
No clue at all.
Someone, if you know what's going on in Eastern Connecticut, please write to the pod and tell us.
I need to know.
We want to know. Watch Monroe.
The town that's right east of us. I know this ain't fun to say, but the town that's right. Our town was just boring, middle class,
totally
suburbs. Town right next to us, 10 minutes away, rural. Fully rural. Fully rural.
Whoa.
And they would ride tractors to school, steel-toed boots. They would wear steel-toed boots. And then the whole new thing was if you get new steel-toed boots, on the stairs on the way up to class, you knock each step to show you're wearing your steel-toed.
Oh my God.
So you would knock each steel toe all the way up. And then, there was like tractor day was Fridays. So Fridays you would ride your tractor to school. And I was like, man, it's got to be an hour commute. Tractors go 2 miles an hour.
They go so slow, famously. I feel like when you say you're from Connecticut, people are like, thinking about like Greenwich, Darien, like the rich places.
Gilmore Girls.
Exactly. Yep. And like the thing about Connecticut, it's kind of a weird state. And that it's like so varied. I think the like wealth discrepancy in Connecticut is like the highest of any state. Yeah. There is some like extreme wealth in Connecticut, and there's also some like rough places. Totally. Like rough.
Totally, yeah. So you can't just you can't assume that 10 minutes away somebody's not doing steel-toed boots.
Exactly. And then 10 minutes the other direction, it's like they have full servants with them all the time.
Definitely.
Crazy.
It's a wacky place. And we got something from Monroe, Connecticut.
Please.
Where I think it is, I'm pretty sure it is like by Lime. I think it's like down in the southernish spots.
That could be literally anywhere.
Could be. Okay, this all happened when I was like a freshman in high school.
Okay.
This guy in my neighborhood, we'll call him Bill, apparently won the lottery and got a ton of money.
Brag.
Love to see a lottery winner. I think about it often. would be fun. He was on top of the world. I can't remember the amount, but I want to say it was like $500,000.
Whoa.
Pretty good.
Not too shabby.
No. So he and his wife, we'll call her Jan, bought a bunch of stuff, quit their jobs, etc. But then throughout the year, it seemed like his life totally went down the drain. Family stopped talking to him. He lost a bunch of money on bad investments. You'd see him in the neighborhood and he just looked very worn down.
Oh my God.
Don't they say that though, that there's like a lottery winning curse, like you get the curse?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he looked very worn down.
Yeesh. That's a tough. If someone described me as worn down, I'd be like, that's a microaggression against me.
I'm
a macroaggression.
I'm sure somebody's commented that, and I just haven't looked at it. I don't read my comments.
YouTube comments. Ooh, rough place.
Ooh, they
Wild
don't like
West.
Me there. Ooh,
No,
they
do not. They were recently telling me, they were like, go back in the basement. I was like, I'm sorry.
We don't even get kitchen anymore.
In what scenario? Now I'm like a concubine? Like, what's going on?
A little gremlin.
It was like
basement?
several different people. They were like, go to the basement.
basement?
We'll call you up for dinner. I was like, wait, so are you doing the cooking? Because that's actually kind of a good deal for me.
I don't really, I'm not following that lead.
So I get to hang out and like play Mario Kart. And then, like,
furnished basements are actually very fun.
Never had one, would love one.
I know, I have a cement one I would rollerblade around on. Kind of fun. It's just a full cement.
We had like a nasty unfinished basement, but we put like a ping pong table down there.
Yeah.
I think to like pretend like it was finished. Like you know, it's a cool kid. No. There's like spiders actively falling on your head.
Okay,
right.
so he looks worn down. Then one day we see a bunch of cop cars roll up to his house, like 3 cop cars. And this is a quiet neighborhood, so of course all the nosy neighbors were coming out trying to see what was going on. Turns out Bill and Jan were arguing and he threw a carrot and it hit her eye and it ruptured her eyeball.
Oh my God. Bill, what are we doing?
How did that happen?
Violence is not the answer.
So,
a carrot?
She had to get it replaced with a glass eye and sued him before it was settled out of court and called an accident. And I guess she was the one that dropped the charges. Wow. If someone's given me a glass eye, the charges stay.
They're gonna stay there. But I mean, she won the money in the end, let's be honest. Bill may have won the lottery.
They settled out of court. Oh.
Jan got some money.
Threw a carrot and it ruptured her eye.
I hate to see it.
I was looking up the case online because I was like, this really happened, right? And there was no mention of him being a lottery winner, but I swore he won a bunch of money before this happened. But who knows? This town loves an embellishment.
So true.
Absolutely.
I was trying to look up my story too, couldn't find anything. But I know that it happened because I got it from multiple sources.
Yeah, but the veggie assault at least was very, very real. Wow.
Oh my God, Jan.
Your team Jan?
I mean, it's like...
No, there's a lot of debate to have.
And let's talk about it. The classic Bill Jan debate.
I'm in a devil's argument for Bill.
Devil's argument.
No.
Yeah, I'm a Bill apologist, actually. I think he was right.
Carrot-related argument.
What were they arguing about?
I don't know that you could ever get me mad enough to unleash a carrot.
Throw a carrot? Yeah, I don't think so.
Ruptured her eye. Those things.
You must have thrown that hard, Bill. What were you doing?
Eye.
Was it like a Bugs Bunny carrot with like a really hard tip? You know,
he was.
It was more like an ice
sharpening it before he threw it. He was just really
stabbing her like a vampire.
That down.
Except it was a carrot.
It was a carrot.
Oof.
Man,
wow.
I like a lottery winner beginning. Yeah. That's very fun.
That's very like kind of Greek tragedy. It's like you can have the lottery, but then
your wife loses an eye with a carrot. Yeah.
This is your curse. It's that classic story. Somebody write that down. There's a pilot in there.
Oedipus,
let me just say.
I want you in this. We're casting you.
Shout out to Oedipus.
I don't know. You need it. Wow. Monroe, Connecticut. Okay. Sometimes with these stories, what we like to do is based on just this story, would you move here?
I think based on the probability that I would win another lottery ticket, sure.
Lightning strikes twice.
Yeah. Why not? I moved to Monroe. If it's near Lyme, I've heard Lyme is nice. I don't know what it's like there.
I think Monroe is quite beautiful.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I would love to. Let's go there now.
Yeah. I am going to move there also because when they mentioned that there were nosy neighbors, I said, I'm at home there.
Oh my God.
I said,
sign me up.
My hot take, and my mom hates it, I don't close my curtains.
Ever?
Kind of ever.
Okay, scary.
I mean, I close the ones in the changing areas of my home.
Yeah.
But
although even that, it's like, whatever.
Kinda.
Let them look. You're welcome.
Kinda.
Frankly.
My mom, like, truly last week when I was visiting home was like, close the curtains, there's pedophiles. I'm like, And I'm 30, babe.
Of course.
I gotta let you know.
Yeah,
They're not looking at me.
I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you, not a child anymore.
I'm not on the market.
The pedophile does not want me.
They're not looking for me.
If he's looking in the window, he's saying pass, next house.
I'm very nosy. I think moving to New York has been really good for me because lots of sounds drawing my attention.
Oh, yeah.
I am full. Oh, yeah. I'm here most nights. You can find me.
And what is this? A hedge? What is that?
Yeah.
Famously lot of hedges in New York City.
I have my sort of topiary.
Totally.
Getting up on.
I have a friend who's always talking about like, she was trying to like come up with some scheme the other day and she was like, okay, what you do is you put your coat in a bush. And I was like, you're always mentioning a bush. I don't know if I've ever seen a bush in this town. She's like, New York City needs more bushes. Let's get that trending.
To scheme with bush at the forefront is really interesting.
I
want to hear her out.
Yeah, honestly, let's get her on the pod.
Yeah, I'm looking at all times. One honk is enough to get me out of my chair. I gotta see what's up with that.
Dude, I can hear my neighbors clear as day through the walls.
Yeah.
Really tough.
Luckily, I don't have much neighbor noise. It's all street noise, but it's a lot of interesting. Yesterday, a car got out. It was such an angry interaction that a person got out and was up at the other car.
Tough, dude.
And then what I loved about it, he was obviously enraged, furious. He gets up, knocking on the door, like, what are you doing? Move, move, move. And the guy's like, sorry. And he goes, all right, well, it's okay.
I forgive you.
He's like, my bad then. And I do think that's how you diffuse a lot of things is like, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really little. I'm really sorry. And he was like, okay, well, no worries.
Okay, I'm glad we worked this out.
Moving next time.
I guess go faster.
God.
Dude, we have a neighbor group chat.
Oh,
like a block association.
Great.
Yeah, literally.
Love that.
It's actually like, it's a bunch of, on my street, it's like a bunch of like houses. And then there's also a couple of apartment buildings.
Yeah.
But the neighbor group chat goes crazy.
Incredible.
Crazy. I put something in there a couple weeks ago because I was like, I just saw that our like city council member was like trying to take feedback, or like the whole city council of New York was like taking feedback from neighborhoods about like, how should we use like this specific pool of public funding? So I just like put it in there and I was like, hey neighbors, passing this on from our city council person. They're taking suggestions, whatever. And like, again, not just her. And then this dude is writing like, well, I tried to get several meetings with her to put a speed bump on our block. And now she's all ears. I tried for months. No thank. Like, dude. They were just like ripping it apart. I'm like, I don't work for her, to be clear. I just thought
I'm not collecting any info.
I'm not the city council person. Also, like, if you want a speed bump, okay, then put it in, buddy. And if you get, it's like, yeah, exactly.
Be the change.
I don't see you out there laying the cement
wants to work these days. Lay that cement.
Get the jackhammer. Let's make it happen. But it was like, if you want a speed bump so bad, like, okay, then get 10 of your neighbors to also submit it. And maybe they will. Like, now is the time. Like, they're just like always stirring up drama.
Yeah.
Always.
I do find that there's an age where you like forget what any social change is possible, and then you think of just the lowest possible thing that would just benefit you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always just like, well,
it'll never happen.
My God. My God. Nobody is putting in the automatic door. It's like, oh, on the one place. I don't know.
For your house specifically? We're not going to do that.
I don't think we're doing that
I'm so
right now.
sorry.
I think we should figure out like sort of a lot
maybe
of
like
bigger
trash
items.
Cans that are like covered.
Oh, they
maybe
love
that
the trash cans. They love a pest on Nextdoor. I was briefly on Nextdoor, which it's like, if you want to get bummed the fuck
If you want to be here, that's the virtual.
If you want to be here, but it's like you're here and you're terrified and you're like, what? And you go way back down.
Yeah,
Nextdoor is way too, because I'm like, what I like about my neighbors is I can assume that we're all on the same side.
Totally.
Then I download Nextdoor and I go, no, we're not.
No,
we're not at all.
These are not my friends.
These are not my friends. These are my enemies. And they're right next to me. It's so scary.
It's tough.
They hate a pest.
Yep.
They hate a raccoon. They hate a feral cat. In a way that is so scary to me. At least this was Los Angeles.
I was going to say, I don't know how many. Okay, but great.
Los Angeles, the way that they speak about what they would like to happen to a feral cat that's in the neighborhood is so scary. It's like pulling the wings off grasshopper vibes. They're so scary where they're just like, well, again, cat piss on my car. I'm going to catch that thing and hang it by its neck. It's like so weird.
They're like, we need public funding to skin this cat alive.
No one ever wants to take care of the one cat that's getting into my begonias. It's so
none of the neighbors want to chop it up with me. No, it's going to be you on your own there, buddy.
There's just a lot of beautiful real complaints to have in this world,
Yeah,
and none of them I
absolutely.
relate to.
No,
I'm like,
but
I
let it
love
out,
complaining.
guys. Yeah.
I would never complain about the things you guys complain about.
Never in my life. We just have different sets of problems.
In 30 years, I wonder.
Yeah, I am feeling like I think I have some curmudgeon in me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming out a little bit where I'm like, I don't want AI on everything. You know, it's like
I don't want AI on anything. We talked about some of the brand deals.
Dude.
Not to complain about a brand deal. Hey, brands, if you're listening.
First of all, give us brand deals.
Brands.
We would love to work with you.
We'll give a sample, sort of like, oh my God, I love the new app.
This new app, obsessed.
Oh.
I use this app all the time for all the needs that I have.
When me and my friends app, we know
when we
that
app
that night
together,
is having fun.
Out of control.
So
and you could also download it too at the link in my bio.
That's some of the stuff we could do for brand deals.
Yeah, pretty good, I would say.
We talked about that. The ones that we're getting are so freaky of just like, this is an AI money platform where we'll transfer money to us and the AI will decide how much we get. And it's like, huh? So you want me to promote that?
No.
You want me to promote an AI money
It's tough,
platform?
dude. It's
3
tough.
words I know nothing about. AI money platform.
No. Could be anything.
I'm lost.
I got pitched like an AI dating app.
Yes.
That's like an AI matchmaker. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't think of anything that I want to think about less than that.
Well, and they have
Dating
AI.
apps are already so bad. It's like, don't add AI. It's going to make it worse.
No.
I don't want that.
Already everyone on an app sounds like a robot. I don't want an actual one in there doing that.
No.
And also they have AI therapists now. And they have like avatars. Like AI of like, how was your day? And they're like bopping and bouncing.
Thank you. And how do you feel about that? That's rough.
Therapy is already...
That's horrifying.
You've made an expensive, beautiful choice to better your brain. Mm-hmm. And then you have to look at like a little freaky, wet-looking digital demon.
Wait, why is
AI all look wet. Every AI is a little wet.
True. That
every
actually
AI
is true.
Is moist.
That's very true.
I look at AI, it's shiny and weird.
Yeah, they are shiny.
So you have your therapist wet, bouncing.
That's
I've lost the plot. I've lost the plot.
I think we got it, actually. I think we're right on track.
It is so brutal. Cassie, what I would want to do here is...
And let's do it, whatever it is.
All right.
I'm on board.
All right. Well, maybe now I got some new thoughts. What I would love to do is go back to Watertown, Connecticut in our heads here and give me a little... You have such a unique sort of experience in this town. Sure. I didn't get to hear much about the walls outside of the boarding school. I didn't get to hear about the walls outside Taft. Can you give me hometown high? What can I not miss? I'm going to Watertown. I cannot miss this.
Can I phone a friend? No, that's no.
It's at the top of my travel list.
Okay, yes. Okay. There's one thing. There are a lot of amazing things about Watertown, Connecticut. Don't get me wrong. The development's unliable. You can buy a house for like $20 there. Love that. That's not true. Maybe it was back in the day.
All right.
Okay, Black Rock State Park.
I Googled Watertown this morning and I saw that.
Very nice.
I think I know it even in our corner of
Totally
Connecticut.
pleasant. Totally pleasant. You can do a little hiking.
It's exactly fine.
It is totally, it's there for sure. I used to have soccer practices there when we couldn't get the good field. Again, respectfully. But the field, it was just like a field. It wasn't an actual soccer field. We'd have to like put up cones and stuff. But yeah, Black Rock was nice, I would say.
Isn't there a waterfall or no? I made that one up.
Could be. It's been approximately 20 years since I've been there.
I'll check it out.
And I'm only 21 and a half. So I was there as a baby. So it's what it is. Both famously very young on this pod.
Yes.
Yeah, Black Rock, I would say, is good. And then there actually are a couple good restaurants now.
Okay.
I'm going to say they didn't exist back then. It was pretty dry there for a while, food-wise. But like there's a decent Thai place now. There's a pretty good Middle Eastern place. There's like a couple good spots where you can like actually get a legit meal. The car wash, I mean, maybe this...
Now we're getting into it. Hey, give us another hour. I want to go deep on this one.
Literally, let's get into it.
Studio, we're going to need extra space tonight.
Sorry, can we make the call really quick? The car wash is like blue. You know what a car wash is. It was very exciting. I really liked the car wash.
Cassie.
Oh, Chubba's Bagels. Now I'm thinking of all these amazing things.
The car wash is big, sort of exciting thing that you lit up for, by the way. Never seen you as happy this whole hour.
I've never been this excited in my entire life.
Sort of
you guys have to check out the car wash in Watertown.
The big thing you wanted to tell about it was it's got the blue strips.
That was really exciting for me. It's like a 4-year-old. I was obsessed. I love that.
It is fun.
Actually, Jimmy's Diner, you can go there and literally get a plate of food. You'll walk in, a server will look at you like you have just stabbed them in the heart. Like they don't want anything to do with you.
They don't want customers.
No. Like you walk in, everyone's looking at you with daggers, and it's like, I'm so sorry, I'm here to like pay you for this food. But the food is like, you can just get like a lot of like pretty classic diner food for very cheap. Also, oh my God, I'm thinking of all the stuff. No, like I like Watertown. It was a totally pleasant place to grow up.
Okay, hometown lows of Watertown, Connecticut. I'm going to hometown. I'm going to your hometown, and I'm obviously getting my car washed.
Obviously.
I'm going to the Marshalls to get French Connection.
Oh my God.
But I can't go here.
About it. Okay, I know there are some like dark underbelly parts of Watertown.
Okay.
I think I was pretty sheltered from what those were. The thing about Watertown, it's small. There's like, when you say downtown, what does that actually mean? I will say there were a couple like bridal shops that have been there for years, fully a front. Gotta be a front. It can't be anything else besides a front. Like, what's going on there? But how is that still open?
Aren't dresses so expensive that if you sell 3, aren't you doing okay?
I don't know how bridal shops work.
I don't know anything about that world.
Connecticut, they've been there forever.
Well, you figure a dress is $4K. But I guess how much you buy in at least.
I've literally never in my life have I like thought about I don't think I've ever thought about a wedding dress.
Say Yes to the Dress, you don't watch? It's gold.
I'm familiar. I'm aware of what it is, but I think that was just not my show. I was busy watching Johnny K+8 during that. Or What Not to Wear, honestly.
What Not to Wear. I can't say much on wedding dresses. I've gotten in trouble on this podcast.
Oh, really?
I said wedding dresses don't need pockets. And
when the people were up in arms?
People didn't agree.
Well, you're right. They don't need pockets.
Maybe not in this lifetime, but you will respect my opinions.
What are you putting in there? Your wallet?
Like, what's going on? Listen,
sorry.
I can't.
Sorry. We're getting all heated again. I can't throw you under
the bus. You're going to get the comments that I'm happy
Honestly,
to take it. I'm stepping in front of these bullets for you.
I'll be in the basement. You can call me up for dinner, according to the comments, right? And yeah, wedding dresses don't need pockets. There's one called AJ's when I was growing up, and they had a big like bucket of like peanuts that you would have to like take out of the shell, and like that's why we loved it. And then there were also video games. I don't know why this is like fully a restaurant,
kind of a kitsch.
There's a video game where you're a dude like shooting down helicopters, and my parents were like, we actually don't like that for your 5-year-old brother.
We're eating.
Here's my parents' take. They were like, there's no gore, and that's actually worse because it dehumanizes the act of like warfare. My parents were kind of based, honestly.
I'm really interesting. Honestly, that's an educator dad type of
literally, like they knew what they didn't want their kids to be up to.
If you're gonna kill something, you're gonna watch it bleed out.
You need to see the life leave its eyes.
I want you.
If you're gonna skin a cat,
feel the energy leave this creature.
Oh God. When we put down my childhood cat, guess who went? Me. Because our neighbor was like, you should go. Because I didn't go when we put down my cat when I was a kid, and I wish I did. I still remember, the light leaving her eyes. That was rough.
It is rough.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend doing that. Don't take your kids to put your pet down. Bad. This is just a parenting advice podcast now, I think. That's what that is.
I do remember it was so beyond time to put my dog down. He couldn't get up.
God.
It was so sad. I can't get Listen, no. I can't possibly
We're both
put
weeping.
This on you, but trust it was beyond.
It was rough.
Like it was a year beyond.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, it's time. And I was like, what, are you going to put Grammy down just because she's old too? And she was like, don't say that about my mother. You fucking weirdo.
First of all,
no.
Keep her name out of your mouth.
It's different. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't get how. And I was like, I'm sorry, Grammy.
So rough. Grammy. Shout out Grammy.
Shout out Grammy for real. Shout out Grammy. There is also always, to go back to AJ's.
Mm-hmm. Please.
There's also always that restaurant that just can't. It's like a location or something. It just can't find its footing.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago when I was home, I was like, oh, this used to be that breakfast spot we like, and now it's a new restaurant just opened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. We go, they're not ready. The only decor is a galaxy lion tapestry. Sure. You know exactly the
Absolutely.
type. The purple AI.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Lion AI tapestry with just 2 thumbtacks on the wall. And we were like, oh no, it's probably not open, right? And they're like, welcome in.
Come on in. We'd love to have you.
Took 47 minutes to get anything to order. And she was like, so sorry, but you understand. There's just like one 15-year-old back there. And we're like, I couldn't understand less. I couldn't understand. What are you talking about?
You told us to sit down. We could have just
left. Don't put the open sign. I don't want to be.
No.
I don't want to inconvenience you.
No one's having fun here.
It was the decor alone. And then I think there was like spray paint on the walls. It was just, I was like, sometimes it is the restaurant's fault.
Yeah,
sometimes in this one case, it's the restaurant's fault.
If I'm remembering, the food at AJ's was like not that good. No. But I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't think anything exists there anymore. They should demolish the building, if I'm being honest. No, they shouldn't.
Beautiful podium.
Gorgeous
pedestals,
old,
you said?
like columns out in the front.
couldn't think of the word.
So avoid the cursed restaurant building, I would say. It's a pretty chill place. Wow. I will say everything closes by like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like nothing is open.
Yeah. Same.
My brother went home. My parents don't live there anymore. They recently moved to New York. So no one lives there anymore. So it's like my hometown and I would always go back. But like, I don't have any reason to go back there anymore.
I know.
But I think the last time my brother was home like a year ago, he like texted my parents, they weren't there, and he was like, hey, like where, like any good restaurants I should try? Like where should I get something to eat? My mom was like, sorry, it's 6 p.m. Like everything's closed.
Good luck.
You could try Subway. Like that's as good as you're gonna get.
There's a few bars that we have now. So the bars, do you have any bars in Watertown?
Domars down Watertown F.
Sorry?
What did you say?
I said Domars.
There's this.
Forget I asked.
There is a Watertown specific accent, and people don't believe
really?
me. Yes, I was chaos growing up.
Chaos.
Out on the soccer field, the moms would be like, chaos, boot it! That was the Watertown accent.
Wow.
And there's a place called Domars on
Domars, they say.
And they would say, yeah, there were like a couple Watertownisms, and it's like Domars was the bar, I guess, and it's on Watertown Ave. But they would be like, let's go to Domars down Watertown Ave.
You're fully doing a like Milwaukee accent.
It's like a little bit Midwestern.
Wow.
And it was chaos. Yeah, this like really flat A, which is like really interesting.
What I do love about the East Coast, the accent changes really quick and it's quite
really
cute.
Wild.
It's quite cute.
Do you
New
ever
Jersey to
hear
Boston, there's
coming
18
out?
accents.
That's very true.
Yeah. I don't know that if I'm not stealing valor. Because sometimes I will be like, get the fuck out of here. Or like I'll do like, get the fuck. I'll do fuck a little bit.
I'm walking here.
And I'm like, that's not you.
That just came out.
That's not you.
I feel it coming out now where it's like, sometimes I say like actually.
Yeah.
Instead of actually.
Yeah.
Actually. Or like, God damn it.
The
That's
one I get
A.
accused of Connecticut sounding is both. Both?
Both.
Both.
See, that's normal.
I think it's quite normal too, but it sounds prissy. I've heard, but because people.
What else would it be?
Both. People want to.
Both.
People want.
There's no L in there. Educate yourselves, please.
I don't want to elitist out, but if you're saying
I will.
both,
I'll die on this hill.
I don't like both.
Both. It's like drawing. No,
both is annoying.
It's drawing.
Both.
Both. Okay, I'm with you on this one. This is just two girls from Connecticut being like, yeah, and
We've
another
never
thing, and another
disagreed on
thing. No,
not a single opposing opinion.
everything you've ever said is correct. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, we have the hometown highs. We have the hometown highs. We have the hometown lows. We have the we're moving to Monroe, Connecticut.
Yep.
I think we just kind of did it.
I think we slayed it.
That is classic Connecticutian of us. We are
so true.
The nutmeggers to follow.
That's Connecticutian execution.
Cassie, you've been so amazing. Where can people find you?
You know, on the internet. You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok. RIP, not for much longer.
We'll see.
We'll see. If anyone works at the government who's listening,
we need a speed bump
do something.
on Washington. If we
on my street, and also please save TikTok. Instagram and TikTok. And
what's the handle?
Cassie Willson. Willson has 2 L's.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cassie. Thanks you,
for
everybody.
Having me.
We've had a great show. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Town Gossip. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Town Gossip Podcast and TikTok at Town Gossip. And if you have any town gossip from your hometown, email us at towngossippodcast@gmail.com for a chance to be featured.